righty. Hello, everyone, to the CEO Boss Chick Show. I am your host, Chante Whisonant, and today our guest is the lovely Apostle Alicia. I love this woman to life. I am so glad that she agreed to be on the show. As you guys can see, today we are going to be talking about balancing life as a busy businesswoman. And this can be really tricky because burnout is real. Burnout can
Yes.
happen very easily. And if you are not careful, you will drop your business and so many other things that's going on. And we do not want that to happen. So we're going to talk about that today. So, first, we are going to have our quote of the day. Then I'm going to ask Apostle Alicia to introduce herself and her business and what she does. Today's quote says, "Burnout happens when you avoid being human for too long." Alrighty, Apostle Alicia, please introduce yourself.
Hello, Chante. Thank you so much for having me on your show. My name is Alicia. I just happen to be an apostle in the Lord's church. I am 47 years old. I'm a wife. I'm a mother. I'm a grandmother, and I am a multiple business owner. I have A Squared Apparel, which is my bling T-shirt line. I have Gracefully Broached, which I just launched about 3 weeks ago, where I sell these beautiful brooches that you see me wearing today. I also am the CEO and the founder of She Can Nation, as well as the Man Cave Experience. I am a local pastor in the city of Harbor, North Carolina, Ignited Blue Apostolic Church International. So I have a lot that I do. But to just put me in a simple introduction, um, I am a woman. I'm a wife. I'm a mother. I'm a friend, and I am authentically myself. What you see is what you get. So I am able to and willing to do whatever I can to help and assist anyone without losing my identity. So that's who Alicia is and the hats that she wears.
Awesome. So we are going to get right into the questions. As you guys know, what our layout is less of interviews, but us more having a conversation going back and forth, which I think is a lot more helpful to people. So the
Mhm.
first thing we are going to be talking about is how do you keep from getting too overwhelmed? I'll let you start off with that one.
Well, one way to keep from being too overwhelmed is make sure that you're doing what you really want to do. A lot of times we get overwhelmed because we get burdened or by things that have nothing to do with us. But if you're really focused on your passion, if you're really focused on your thing, you won't be overwhelmed. It only becomes overwhelming when you're trying to copy somebody else's stuff. Because it's a difference in being a creator, an innovator, and a programmer. A program person is somebody who just follows status quo. They just do what's normal, what's just the bare minimum. An innovator is somebody who goes to, let's say they're on the Boss Chick show today, and they get inspired and they try to do something on that level. When you're an innovator, you will get overwhelmed. But when you are a creator, you're the top 5% of the people in the world that actually create their own thing. They have ideas, witty inventions, things of that nature, and they go for it. And it works for them effortlessly. And sometimes people become jealous because they try to innovate what you've created and they don't get the same results. So one way to not be overwhelmed is to make sure you are doing what you are called to do. And a lot of times, Shantae, we take that word called and only leave it in the church, but it also fits in the marketplace. You
Yes.
have to be called to something. Everybody is that's living and breathing. Everybody's called to something besides the pulpit. You can be
Right.
called to the marketplace. You can be called to jewelry, hair, makeup, um, uh, banking, realtor, real estate. You can be
Yes.
called to a lot
Yes.
of things, but we don't answer the call because we don't think it's big enough. We don't think it's um, flashy enough. And sometimes the thing
Mhm.
that we think is absolutely minuscule is major in our lives, and we're sitting on our wealth because we're overwhelmed by trying to do what everybody else is doing as opposed to what we've been called to do.
Hmm. That is very true. I see a lot of, I always say, whatever you're doing, make sure that you're passionate about it. A lot of
Absolutely.
times people get, as you were saying, get so overwhelmed by things is because
Hmm.
it's really not something they're passionate about. It's really not something that they really want to do. A lot of times people just go into things for money, for monetary reasons. And I tell people not to do this. Everybody wants to make money, but don't just jump at the first thing that you think is going to make you money, because you're going to get overwhelmed in business, period. But when you're
Yes.
really passionate about what you are doing, your passion and your love for your business and what you're doing will make you stay and work harder every time you want to give up. Whether you're passionate about children, whether, like you said, you're passionate about real estate, whether it's nonprofit and you're really passionate about what you do in your nonprofit, it will make you stay where you are and not give up because you have some kind of fuel to push you forward. Another thing when it comes to not getting burnt out is making sure that your mental health is intact. This is
Hmm.
so important. Again, everybody wants to make money, but there are so many women out there that they have so much going on. They have so many levels of stress and anxiety going on, and they don't have certain things taken care of. They hardly have a handle on themselves. And I think we've all been there, close to being there. Your mind is all over the place. You feel like you're going to blow in your personal life. It's really not wise for you to put all of your energy into a business right now because you can't pour from an empty cup. You have to make sure that who you are as a person, who you are as a wife, who you are just as yourself is secure, and that you love yourself and you are there for yourself before you try to add a business into it.
Hmm. Absolutely. And sometimes people, like I said, they get so inspired, but that inspiration is going to leave, especially when it's not your passion, like you said. If it's not your
Mhm.
passion, you'll quit every day. And like you said, if it's money driven, when you won't make the money, you'll quit. Because let's be
Mhm.
honest, first 3 years of business, you're not even supposed to expect a profit. Because in order
Yes.
for your business to thrive, you have to reinvest back into your business. And so a lot
Yes.
of people want to take the money that they made today and splurge off of it, and then you're out of
Mhm.
product. And so then you're upset because your customers are like, well, why don't you have any product? You have to
Right.
reinvest back into your business until you're able to make a profit. Nobody makes a profit the first year. That's just unrealistic.
Yes.
So a lot of people think their hobby is a business. Just because somebody told you your fruitcake was great for Thanksgiving, now you want to turn it into a business. But then you mess around and get 100 orders for fruitcake, and now you don't have the mental capacity to bake 100 cakes. Two
Mhm.
cakes
Mhm.
is different than 100. So now you got all these orders, and now you're frustrated. You're burning your layers. Your fruit ain't fresh because you wanted to. Girl, you should sell it. Just because they say you should sell don't mean that you should. Because a lot of people are not
Mhm.
business minded. They're not business minded.
Mhm.
First of all, you got to have great customer service. You got to be willing to take constructive criticism. You got to be willing to understand the customer is always right, even when they're wrong. If you're going to be in business, your customer is always right. So if you got a smart mouth, you can't handle constructive criticism, you can't handle
Mhm.
somebody telling your cake is nasty, then guess what? You're not ready for business, because with business comes negativity and positivity. So some people will get your stuff because we all have done it at some point of our life. We'll get the stuff and it is good. We just want our money back because we should have spent our money. So,
Mhm.
so you got to be willing to
Mhm.
deal with all that type of stuff. So you have to make a decision and our conscious decision, is this a business or is this a hobby? This is something I just like to do. Because everybody tells me, because I cook very well, you should open a restaurant. No. Mm-mm. I don't have the patience for that. I used to be a caterer in my 20s. I had a thriving catering business. I'm almost 50 years old. I don't have the time now. I have a lot of other things on my plate now that I didn't have then. So just because they say it's a great idea doesn't mean it's a God idea for me. And so sometimes we let people gaslight us into situations, and then when it fails, we want to blame everybody else except for ourselves. Just because somebody says you should doesn't mean that you can.
Ooh, you said a mouthful there. That is very true. And like going back to what you said earlier, most people do not make money the first year, like you even sometimes the first 3 years. And I see that stress out a whole lot of entrepreneurs. It stressed me out in the beginning. And there's a whole lot of people. The problem is you have what we call YouTube gurus and everything, and they make
Yes.
these videos and they make it seem like if you just do this, this is the perfect business formula. You should be making money, six figures within a year. And when it doesn't happen that way, people get so stressed out. And then you're wondering, okay, what am I doing wrong? I keep paying $2,000 for these courses and I keep taking these classes. I'm following these people who say this is what I'm supposed to be doing and I'm not making any money. And you have to know, which do not get burnt out or stressed in your process, because there is things you are going to have to go through before you start making money. There are things you're going to have to learn in your business that at the beginning you really don't understand yet. And a lot of these people on social media, when they just tell you it's possible to make six figures in a couple of months or a year, they're not telling you that. They're not telling you all the nights they feel like they wanted to pull their hair out. They're not telling you how they messaged so many companies and so many CEOs, knocked on so many doors, and so many people said no. So do not feel like something is wrong with your business. Do not feel like there's something wrong with you because you're not making a bunch of money. And it takes time. You have to learn about your target audience. You have to learn about what your business truly wants to do. You have to think about future goals. So don't get overwhelmed because your business is not where you think it's supposed to be. And that's what really stresses a lot of people out, to be honest. We stress ourselves out because our business or our company is not where we think it should be. And the difference is it's not where we're stressing ourselves out because of that, but that's not where God said it should be. That's our fault. And we have to give ourselves the time and the leash to really learn and give ourselves a leash to really go through the process. So that is very important. Another thing that's also important is I want to ask you guys who are looking, when was the last time you said no? That is a problem. So many people don't know how to say no.
Yeah. Because we don't want somebody to think a certain way about us. So and this really is bad in the church. I have to go there because people want to use our salvation against us in business. They want to use that as a place of bondage for people. Well, you're supposed to be a preacher. Why you can't just give me the t-shirt? Because I'm not preaching to you. I'm creating a t-shirt. This is not a sermon. It's a t-shirt. It's a product. You can't go to Aeropostale and tell them, well, because you're a Christian, you don't have to pay for a t-shirt. No. And so a lot of people kill me because they don't want to pay us to preach. But then when we start making tents, they won't pay for that neither. So, I was a tent maker. Well, I'm making a tent. It's called a t-shirt. I'm making a tent. It's called a brooch. I'm making a tent. It's called a masterclass. So don't throw that at us and then don't. And so a lot of times people want to use our Christianity against us in business, and business is just business. And so you don't cuss out people in Walmart. Don't cuss us out. Don't do that. Walmart's always out of stock. They got 17 registers, only 3 open. So, okay, if we don't respond to your inbox right away, why you got an attitude? You still going back to Walmart tomorrow and curbside. So It's okay to say no. And a lot of times the reason why we don't, and when you don't say no, you shortchange your business because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we lowball just to get the deal. But this is what happens when you lowball. When you lowball your product and your expertise, what happens is these people are 1,000% extra demanding.
Mm-hmm.
And so now they're asking you to do more stuff than you normally would do, that you normally charge for. And so now you have the headache of trying to satisfy somebody that wants your work but not willing to pay for it. So now you've lowballed your product, and so now you got the stress of trying to satisfy something that came in unsatisfied. Because when they
Mm-hmm.
don't like your prices, they're already an unsatisfied customer.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, Chante, I'll be very transparent. I will jack my price up just to see if they're serious. Because you already know at least when you see it. So, it's going to cost you $40, $50. Oh, that's too high. Oh, okay, thanks. Because now I ain't
Mm-hmm.
got to worry about charge you 175. You want 17 edits, and you want your name. You want me to create a logo on top of the website, and then you want
Mm-hmm.
a flyer. All that stuff is separate. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to learn how to say no. Set your rules, set your boundaries, and if they don't want to pay your price, it's okay. Because trust me, nobody's chasing anybody outside of Macy's because they put the dress back on the rack. Ain't
Right.
nobody talking to me. Ain't
Right.
nobody chasing nobody out of Neiman Marcus, out of Louis Vuitton store, because you put the purse and the shoes back. They said, oh, okay, you don't want our product.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to
Mm-hmm.
learn how to say no. It's too much. It's above my schedule. I already have my schedule set for this week. This is not a day that I'm available. And so when you start saying no, then it puts structure to your life and your business.
That is so true. A lot of business women, especially the ones who are just starting out, because they're so we again, I've been there. You're so desperate to get clientele. You're so desperate to have likes on your post. You're so desperate to just have somebody pay attention to your business
Mm-hmm.
that you will Jack, either you would put your prices so low, you would demean yourself, you would demean your business, and you would not realize how much you are worth. A lot of these, especially the home based businesses, you are putting in so much more extra work and love into your products than when these people go to Walmart and these other places. So when people come to you and say, why are your prices so high? Because I'm not mass producing my soaps. I'm not mass producing my jewelry. I print my own t-shirts. So there's a whole lot more work that goes into it being a one
Absolutely.
person, one woman business that you don't understand. And if they don't understand, that just means they're not your clientele. Again, don't burn yourself out trying to just grab anybody to be your customer. That's why having a defined target audience is important, because when you have a
Mm-hmm.
defined target audience, you won't be stressed out when there's people telling you no, that your prices are too high, because they're going to be for you and they're going to understand.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And so sometimes we really have to understand that sometimes your warm market is not your family and friends is not your warm market, because your
Mm,
family and friends are looking at, well, I ain't paying their light bill this month. They ain't gonna use my money to pay their light bill, but you paying Walmart's light bill, you paying Louis
mm-hmm,
Vuitton's light bill, Chanel, Gucci, you paying their light bills, you paying their overhead. But when it comes to you, your familiar audience, your family and stuff, they look at you a different type of way. And so sometimes your warm market is not your family and friends, it's strangers, it's
mm-hmm.
outsiders. And so you have to not even expect your family to support your business because they're not. And then if you got family support you, you lucky and you blessed. But the majority of us, our families are not going to support our businesses. They're just not, because they can't get
Right,
past you in Pampers. They can't get past you
right.
smoking weed when you was a teenager. They can't get past you
Mm-hmm,
having a baby out of wedlock. They can't get past you
mm-hmm.
going to jail for robbing a bank. They can't get past that stuff. So you have to change your expectations. One reason, and if y'all don't hear anything I say tonight, listen to this right here. Frustration makes you fruitless.
Come on.
And so We have to learn how to change our expectations because we are frustrated because our expectations have been failed. You expected them to support you, they're not. So now you're mad, but you have to change. Once somebody shows you who they are and what they are, believe them.
Yes.
If they tell you, and I don't want to do that, don't keep going back asking them. Don't go to Thanksgiving dinner with your product and just think they're going to buy it because you had Thanksgiving cookout. No, they're not going to do that. Don't
Mm-hmm.
even waste your time. And
Mm-hmm.
this the thing about it. You should not want somebody to have your product that doesn't even respect your work behind it. They don't respect your vision. They don't respect the time that you put into it. You should even want your stuff in the hands of somebody who can appreciate your creativity, your authenticity, and your work ethic.
Ooh, that is so true. A lot of businesswomen, entrepreneurs, even CEOs struggle with this. I've seen women of all different types of levels get frustrated with family not buying into their company or buying into their product or supporting their nonprofit. Of course, you will want your family, you'd want mama and auntie and uncle and cousins and them to support what you are doing, but they can't make you a millionaire anyway. If you're talking about making six figures, your cousins and your aunts, they can't even get you to where you're trying to go financially anyway. So it doesn't matter. It's neither here or there. We're not going to cry over spilled milk. We need to
Mhm.
go forward and find who our true target audience is, because you
Yes.
will get so frustrated and you will get so mad and get so again burnt out because people aren't buying into what you want. I've seen a lot of startup entrepreneurs who had such great products, but they threw it in the trash because, man, my mama didn't buy not one product I made. My cousin didn't buy nothing I made. And I'm like, wow, you threw away such a great company just because the people who you wanted to support you didn't support you. You got overwhelmed and you gave up, and it didn't have to come to that.
Absolutely. I'll be very transparent with everything that I've ever done. My family and they weren't my audience. I would share stuff. We have a group page on social media. I share a lot of things that I got going on, and it's only two people besides my parents that always support, and that's one of my aunts and my cousin.
Hmm.
So it's like, but I had to say, but I stopped expecting it. I had to just like, that's not even my audience. And the thing about it is when you come to She Can, you don't see
Hmm.
Hickmans and Faustas and Rays and Andersons. You see people
Hmm.
from Las Vegas and Atlanta and South Carolina and Virginia and Texas and Philadelphia. Those are the people that you see. And so
Right.
my thing is that you have to understand there are billions of people in this world. Somebody's being born right now while we're on the show
Hmm.
that can be a potential customer in about 5 or 6 years. So
Right.
you have to understand that you're not limited to who you know. I'm trying not
Mm.
to preach. I'm really trying not to do that today. But you're not limited to who you know.
Hmm.
You're not limited to that. And this is
Mm.
why you got to start going out into different venues. You need to start going to different organizations. You need to start you vending in other places that are not familiar because you will miss out on such great opportunities. I was just talking to my leader today about my women's conference, the very first women's conference I had. I didn't have my own building, but God has always given me access to big spaces.
Hmm. Hmm.
Even though I only had a handful of people, my first women's conference, I was using a pastor's church. That church seated 500 people, only had like 10 people in a
Mm.
500 seat room. But
Mm.
I realize now that God was trying to let me know just because you only got 10 people, your call to so much greater.
Yes.
And so you have to understand that you have to look at all the products in your house. All those are customers. Every lipstick, every brooch, every t-shirt, every class, whatever it is that you do, every item that you have in your office is a potential customer.
Hmm.
And that item that you have will get you other customers because the best
Hmm.
advertisement is word of mouth. And so
Mhm.
when you have excellent customer service and your turnaround time is great and you're thorough and you can always answer your customers' questions, that's going to travel abroad. People love good customer service.
Mhm. Mhm.
People love good customer service. The
Oh yes.
kitchen food might be jacked up, but because the waiter was nice and the manager was nice, they will come back to the establishment,
Yep.
even though the cook messed up their food. So
Yep.
customer service is your bread and butter. If you know how to treat people, you know how to make your wrongs right, you will get repeat customers. You will.
Yes, that is so important. Like what you said earlier, too, about networking with people. This is
Mhm.
something that I definitely had to deal with because I have anxiety. I'm not the best when it comes to talking with people, quite honestly. And people don't know that because when they see my videos, they see me on stage, it seems like I'm very open. People assume I'm an extrovert, but it's different for me when it's just a conversation like off the top of my head. And so that kind of kept me in a bubble a long time in my business because obviously you have to talk to people, you
Yes.
have to network with people. And mom was not going to keep doing it for me when I started reaching a certain age, which she should not. And there's a whole lot of entrepreneurs that get stressed out about not getting into certain circles, about their business, not being on certain platforms, not getting the press they want, and they're getting again overwhelmed and they're getting burnt out
Hmm.
because they're not connected to the people they're supposed to be connected to. If you would go out and talk and go to these networking events, you would connect with some women who would be able to help you in your company. You would find a tribe of women who can be there for you and help push you forward when you are struggling with certain things in your business. You really just have to force yourself to get out of your comfort zone.
Absolutely. And the thing that I have learned over the years is that the circles that I wanted to be in so bad were stuck and dry and not profitable at all. The
Mm,
platforms I thought I wanted were worthless. And I
mm,
realized that I was being protected from those contaminated spaces, from those places that would only take from me and not really build me. And so a lot of times you don't even realize what you think you need, you don't.
right.
And some of the people that I marveled at and people that I really wanted to meet, I found out they were not nice people. I
Mm,
found out that they were just about the dollar. I found out they were not willing to help anybody. Yeah, that's
yeah.
well, I got mine, you got yours to get. And so a lot of the circles that y'all think you need to be in, you really don't, because you already in one. It's called the world. I feel like
Mm,
running, but I'm not. We're already in the biggest circle ever. It's called Earth. Okay.
mhm,
So that circle never ends and it's expanding all the time. So you
mhm,
just have to really open your mind and do research, find out who's doing webinars, who's doing seminars, who's doing conferences on what you're doing, and go into other spaces. Get outside of your culture, get outside of your tax bracket, get outside of your
mhm,
neighborhood. Because a lot of times we won't go sit and talk to millionaires because we're too busy
mhm,
trying to get them to give us a handout. That ain't what you
mhm.
need. You don't need them to give you $1 million. You can't even handle the $100 that you got. What
Woo.
you need to do is sit down and listen to how they did it. And one thing that people lack in business is consistency.
Woo.
You start stuff, but you never finish. You start 1,000 things and never finish one thing. They call you the jack of all trades and the master of none. And so you have to be consistent in business. You cannot have a day where I'm not going to open today. There's nothing more frustrating to a consumer to know that you have office hours and then they go to your establishment and you're not open. They're
Mhm,
like, well, you're not dependable. So what they're gonna do is find somebody who's gonna be open from 8 to 4 Monday through Friday and 1 to 6 on Saturday and closed on Sunday.
mhm,
So we have to be consistent. And one reason why we're not successful in business because we're inconsistent. We start
mhm,
off with this high stuff and then we mess around and we lose momentum and we get burnt out and we get
mhm,
not passionate about it. And that's when you know what you're doing is just a hobby, because a hobby is when you
mhm,
feel like it. But when it's a
mhm.
business, you eat, sleep, Wake up, it's the same thing. You even when you want to go to sleep, but you up early, you're still moving, you're still progressing. So you can't tell me it's your passion when you quit, when you don't have things your way. Because had I stopped at Clegg's Chapel Missionary Baptist Church with those 7, 8 people, I wouldn't have
Mm-hmm.
She Can now. Because
Right.
that was back in 2004,
Right.
2003, 2002. It's
Mm-hmm.
2021. And so a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people walk in on seasons of your life and when you're prospering, but they don't realize they came in on the end of your process, not the
Yes.
middle and the beginning of it. And so
Yes.
some people hate process, but if you want to be successful in anything, you must be processed. How is it that we can eat hot dogs and bologna and oodles and noodles, but we cannot endure process in business? We will eat
Mm.
processed food, but we won't allow our business to process us, life to process us. You got to be consistent and you got to go through stuff. Because, first of all, you'll learn one of the mistakes. This is what, let me tell you something. This should be very transparent. When I first started A Squared Apparel, I made the mistake of I designed a shirt for men.
Mm-hmm.
It was called Simply Holiness. And I ordered this particular color shirt and I pressed every shirt with that
Mm-hmm.
logo on it. Every shirt I bought, I still have shirts in my closet right now that have not sold.
Mm-hmm.
I learned that I need to press on demand,
Mm-hmm.
press because I have it. And so where I could have used that shirt for a different slogan, something else, I can't use it now because I already pressed something else. So that's a mistake but I had to learn that. Nobody
Mm-hmm.
told me that. So I had to learn, okay, you can get a different color shirts and stuff. And then I also learned people, you have a shirt, it's black and it's blinged out. Well, do you got it in red? Well, no, it's in black. So now I start ordering red shirts. And then the person that wanted in red don't even buy it.
Mm.
So I had to learn. These are things you learn in the process. You
Yep.
so I had to learn, okay, I need to stop wasting my money buying a bunch of different colors. And now I got all this inventory, can't do nothing with it. Like have
Mm-hmm.
flash sales and try to get it out of your system. But I learned that through my process. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
not mad about it. It's just
Mm-hmm.
something I had to learn.
Yep.
But you're not gonna know everything when you first start. But you're gonna make some mistakes. I remember
Mm-hmm.
being a part of this jewelry company years ago. I think it was called Premier Jewelry. And Chante, it was already set up
Mm-hmm.
where the customer could earn free jewelry for having the party. But
Okay.
I wanted to be extra. I wanted to reinvent the wheel. So I
Mm-hmm.
would offer extra free jewelry on top of the free jewelry to
Okay.
get the show.
Wow.
So I
Okay.
wasn't making any money
Right.
because I was spending all my profit in extra stuff just to
Mm-hmm.
get the showing. And so
Mm-hmm.
when something is already put in place, don't reinvent the wheel. It will work if you work it. So
Mm-hmm.
these are things that you learn during process.
Woo. Hi, we're gonna have to get you back on here. But you said a you said a lot, but one of the things you was talking about, the main thing is consistency and starting so many things at once. And that's a problem really that creative people have, people period, but especially creative people. You're
Especially.
always having a new business idea, and
Mhm.
then you keep starting new businesses, new things, new products. Before you know it, you have way too many products and you can't handle that much inventory. You have way too many services. You really can't handle offering so many services at once. You have so many things on the calendar. You've said yes to so many other different business endeavors. Again, part of saying no. And I really advise for my boss chicks on here to really map out your week. This is why they have planners. This is why they have business planners. Make sure to map out what the essentials are. Not every little thing your kids are asking you to do, not every little thing that your boss at your part-time job is asking you to do. Again, learn to say no, map out the essentials, because a lot of times when we are creative people in business and we have so many ideas floating in our heads, it's like everything will hit you at once. of what
Mm-hmm.
you need to do and what
Mm-hmm.
hasn't been done. And then it starts stacking up. And then again, it's like your brain explodes. And then everything just ends up getting put on the shelf because you feel like it's too much. And all you have to start doing is learning to make a list of things of what you need to do today. The tricky part is not procrastinating and forcing yourself to do it.
Absolutely. One of the things that I want to share with people is that sometimes the idea is legit, but the timing is off.
Mm,
Because there have been things that have come in my mind to do, and I try to do it in the wrong season. So
mm,
sometimes you have to write stuff down and then figure out when's the time to launch it. But it's so much competition around us. You know, we want to prove to people that we are successful. We want to prove to people, especially people who done told us that we're not and that we can't do this. So all of a sudden we get this little demon on our shoulder say, you better go and try this and
yep,
go do this and do it.
yep.
No, keep it simple. Keep it the way you got it at first. It'll work. But anytime we try to add extra stuff other than what was originally coming to our minds, then that's when we mess up. And I tell you all the time, go back to what you were told at first. Go back to the
Mm-hmm,
original idea. Go back to the original plan and just work it that way. It doesn't matter who doesn't believe in it. It doesn't matter
mm-hmm,
who doesn't think it's a great idea. It was given to you because you were
mm-hmm,
entrusted with it. So sometimes we
mm-hmm,
have some amazing idea, but the timing was just off.
mm-hmm,
I had gotten this idea to do a men's conference and stuff, a men's ministry, but it wasn't the time at the time. But when it finally happened, it took off. But
mm-hmm,
the idea came years ago. So
mm-hmm,
don't dismiss your creativity, but sometimes we need to journal and wait for the right timing. And procrastination is the enemy to your success.
mm-hmm.
Procrastination is an enemy. It's worse than the devil. We want to blame the devil for everything, but
Mm-hmm.
procrastination is worse than the devil because when you procrastinate, what happens is the people that are assigned to you in the season that you should be working, you'll look for them in the season you should be resting, and then you'll be
Mm,
upset because you won't have any clientele, you won't have any sales, you won't have any growth because you procrastinated. People was looking for you in a certain season, but you couldn't get
mhm,
past yourself. You kept putting it off, listen to the wrong people, and now you ready to go. And the people that was waiting for you have moved on. What did
mm,
Sarabi say to Scar? The herds have moved on.
mhm,
So you have to make sure you maximize your moments and your seasons. You have to
mhm,
do that because when you're hot, and when you're not, you're not.
mhm.
And you
Yep.
ain't gonna be hot forever. I'm sorry. I don't care who you are. Everybody has up seasons and down seasons.
Mhm,
You look at basketball, look at football. You can look at ministry where people just always traveling. All you heard was their name. Now you don't hear them at all. Now they
yes.
reduced to Facebook Live. It's all about seasons. So you have to really
Yes.
use your time wisely because when it's your time, it's your time. But if you miss it, it's your fault.
Yes. And like you were saying earlier, trying to prove yourself. That is
Mm-hmm,
something that a lot of people who have been rejected, you have been
mm-hmm,
downplayed your entire life. People have
mm-hmm,
always said that you can't do this. Everybody laughed at you. And you finally start seeing what you're worth. And I want you to hear me here because I understand. I've been in your place. You finally have something that you're good at. You
mm-hmm,
finally have something that you are passionate about, and it's not working the way you thought it was going to work.
mm-hmm.
And then you start stressing yourself out because it's no longer about you being prosperous. It's no longer
Right.
about you trying to make money, about you trying to build generational wealth for your family. It's about trying to prove
Mm-hmm,
something to your teacher that made you feel less than 20 years ago. It has
mm-hmm,
turned into you being prosperous and being financially stable to you trying to prove something to your mama who said you would never be anything. And as long as your focus is on that, you are going to burn out really quickly, because
Yes.
you are going to be, you're going to constantly have to do something bigger and better in your business, something bigger and better in your personal life, to catch up to the pedestal that you feel like you need to be on to prove something to somebody else, and you don't want to do that. Stop focusing on what people have said about you. They'll see you on TV when you're on TV. Trust me. They'll see you on the news. They'll see you when your book hits bestseller. They'll see you when you do your launch party for your new business. Focus on it for your family and for yourself, and because it's what you want. But the more you're doing it to prove a point, the more stressed out you are going to become.
Absolutely. Motive also will affect your business. When your
Mm,
motive is off, it's not going to be blessed at all. Motives will affect your business. It will affect your ministry. It will affect your marriage. It'll affect everything. Your motive has to be pure. You just really it really has to be pure. And sometimes you have to ask it, am I doing this because so and so said I couldn't do it? Because
mm,
some of us don't like being told we can't do it. It inspires us to do it. Oh, I'm gonna do it anyway. But
mm-hmm,
will you be successful at it? That's the question. Will you be
mm-hmm,
successful at it? And so
mm-hmm,
we really have to make sure that we're doing it for the right reason. And if you're doing it for the right reason, you'll get great results. But if you're trying to prove a point, throw shade, show somebody up, you're going to fail. I'm gonna tell
mm-hmm.
you that right now, because you're gonna have a stench on you, and nobody wants to be around anything that's stinking.
Nope.
People are not gonna want to do business with you because your attitude is gonna show it. It's gonna come out of you.
Mm-hmm,
Whatever's in you gonna come
mm-hmm.
out of it. You can't hide it.
Yes.
You
Yes.
cannot hide it.
Another problem that I see people having is that they don't celebrate themselves. And that doesn't seem like, okay, what does that have to do with being burnt out? It's because you feel like you're never doing enough. No matter what
Hmm.
you do, no matter what you accomplish, again, it could be because of what people said about you in the past, or it has nothing to do with other people. That's just a you problem. You feel like you're
Hmm.
never doing enough. And sometimes the biggest enemy we have trying to prove something to is not other people, it's to ourselves. And so you're constantly trying to top yourself off from the last business idea. You're constantly making unrealistic business goals. Again,
Yes.
unrealistic. I'm not saying you shouldn't make business goals, but some things you just know that you should bring it down just a little bit, and you make these really high goals and then you can't reach them, and then you get overwhelmed. And you need to start celebrating yourself every time when you do hit the mark on something, when you
Hmm.
have an accomplishment. Start appreciating yourself and lifting yourself up, even with the little things. Because if you don't, you are going to constantly feel like you're not doing enough. And if you feel like you're not doing enough, you're going to drop your business. And you also have to get rid of waiting for somebody else to cheer you on. Listen to me. You are not going to always have other people to be your cheerleader on the sidelines.
Absolutely.
If you are waiting for somebody to constantly cheer you on, for you not to be stressed out, in order for you not to give up on your business, you're going to have a really hard time.
Yes, you are. And the thing is, I was teaching in a class a couple weeks ago, and I was telling them, celebrate your small successes. That's why you need a checklist. Have a checklist for the day. And as you check stuff off, you will have a sense of accomplishment. And even if you don't check off everything, you checked off something.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you have to learn how to streamline your days. That's another way you can keep from being overwhelmed. Have certain days where you do certain things and stick to that.
Mm-hmm.
If Monday is a day for you to just chill out and unload your brain, then don't do nothing on Monday. Okay, if
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday's the day that you call your customers back, call your customers back on
Right.
Tuesdays. If Wednesday's the day that you do your inventory checklist, then do inventory on Wednesday. If Thursday is the day you do your shows or your vending or whatever, then do that on Thursday. If Friday is the day that you do your giveaways, streamline your days. That way you've done something for your business the days of the week that you choose. It don't have to be 5 days. It could be 3 days. It could be 2 days. Whatever days you designate to do your business stuff, make sure you streamline your days. Don't do a bunch of stuff every day. That you'll
Yes.
get nowhere. You'll be
Yes.
frustrated and mad, and then you'll miss a deadline. So, you need to
Mm-hmm.
write things down, set alarms in your phone, use a calendar, use your planner, things of that nature, to keep yourself reminded. And remember that you're in business. So you have to treat like a 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
We have no problem going to work and punching somebody else's clock, but not our own. So, and you need to get up and get dressed. You need to get up, do your hair, beat your face, and put your clothes on. If you got on sweatpants and a t-shirt and a bonnet, you're not gonna do your business seriously. I'm sorry, you're not. You're too comfortable. So you got to get up,
Good
do your
point.
hair, do your makeup, put your clothes on, and work your business just like you are in that multi-million-dollar company. Because
Mm-hmm.
whatever you do in the process, it's gonna show up at the promised land. And it
Mm-hmm.
also in terms if you even get there. Some of y'all go out, you can't even afford when you're in business, you cannot afford to go to the store with a baseball cap on your head.
Come
You
on.
can't afford to, because the very moment you do, somebody gonna
Mm-hmm.
ask you what you do for a living. Oh,
Yes.
I'm a makeup artist, and you looking like death warmed over. They be like, never mind, because I'm gonna tell you, I don't know nobody doing my hair whose hair is never done.
Mm-hmm.
Your hair ain't
Right.
never done. No thanks. Because if you ain't gonna take care of your head, you gonna tear up mine. That's how people think. So you have to dress for success. Stop walking around here looking like death warmed over. Just because you're not a millionaire, I mean, you can't look like one. When I walk out
Mm-hmm.
this door, okay, I'm in my office doing a live. I wasn't coming up on here with no sweatpants, no t-shirt, and a bragger tied around my head. No,
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the studio with Chante Whisonant because
Mm-hmm.
that you show up. And so when you
Mm-hmm.
start taking your own self seriously, you'll carry yourself a certain way. You have to carry yourself like a business woman. You have to carry yourself like I'm busy. But if you look like
Mm-hmm.
I'm available and I ain't doing nothing, that's not attractive.
Mm-hmm.
People are
Mm-hmm.
attracted by what you give off, how you carry yourself, how you talk
Mm-hmm.
to people, your smile, how you look. That attracts business. But if you don't look like you happy about it, why should somebody else support it?
Mm-hmm. Right. If you don't take yourself seriously, nobody else is going to take you
Absolutely.
seriously. And you
Absolutely.
have to really remember that a lot of business women, they don't believe in themselves, they don't believe in their products, and they don't put in the same effort you put into that part-time job or even that full-time job, you need to put that same effort into your business. Like you said, the way that you dress, and you make sure that you look presentable when you go into your job. Make sure that you look presentable when you're doing things for your business, even when you're dropping off packages in the mail for your customers. Make
Mm-hmm.
sure that you are presenting yourself as a businesswoman. Now, getting to the end here, when you do get overloaded and when you do get burnt out, how do you recharge? Because a lot of people, they get burnt out and they just stay there. They don't know how to effectively recharge themselves.
One thing you gotta do is step away from it for a day or two.
Hmm.
You have downtime. In streamlining your days, you have to have mental health days where, okay, I need to just sit and breathe a minute. Okay, it's not working. Let me step back. Like I told you earlier, frustration makes you fruitless. Okay, so you have to have an outlet. You have to have something to blow off steam, whether it's taking a walk, whether it's exercising, going bowling by yourself. You can go bowling by yourself and act like what's getting on your nerves is them pins and tear them pins up. You know,
Hmm.
you may need to go to the park and feed the ducks. You may need to go sit by the lake, but you got to find something that brings you instant peace immediately.
Hmm.
And women have to be intentional because we're mothers, we're grandmothers, we aunties, we BFFs, we ride or dies, we wives, we boos, we babes. But you have to take off all those hats, all those and
Hmm.
get to your naked self and just
Yes.
breathe. You take the hat.
Yes.
I'm not mama today. I ain't best friend today. I ain't wife today. I ain't pastor today. I'm not CEO. I'm not boss chick. I'm leader today.
Hmm.
I'm going to sit
Hmm.
here, watch Good Time, drink my Dr. Pepper, eat my snacks, and I'm not answering my phone today.
I know
That
that's right.
brings me peace. Good Time. That's my show. Love it. I can
Hmm.
watch all 6 seasons over and over and over again because it takes me away from what I got going on. So you have to
Hmm.
find out what brings you peace. And if you can't find something that brings you peace, then you're in trouble. Because that
Mm-hmm.
means you have buried yourself under everybody's expectations, out of everybody's labels, everybody's what they call you, what they expect from you. And you have to have that time to take all that stuff off and just be naked. Ain't nothing free.
Yes.
They walk to your house naked. Ain't got to worry about nothing. That's the
Mm-hmm.
most freest moment in the world. So
Mm-hmm.
take all those hats and those layers off, and those expectations, those labels, and just have some you time.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes the nail shop ain't it. I'm sorry. We try to say pedicure. No, it ain't. Because you in
Mm-hmm.
there, they talking, yakking about their problems, and one Chong Lee done cut your foot because she don't know what she doing. And this all no, you got to find something else that
Mm-hmm.
just brings you to a level of peace. And
Mm-hmm.
then you have to set some boundaries. Once you have taken the time to recharge and unload and unwind yourself, then
Mm-hmm.
set some boundaries and stick to them. Because
Yes.
we are good at setting them, we won't stick to them. And so when you set boundaries, now this doesn't have the authority, it's not legal to get on your nerves because you're
Mm-hmm.
not dealing with it today.
Right.
By the time you deal with that, your mind is trained to deal with that. But you have to rest. You need to go to sleep. Sleep gives you a recharge.
Yes.
Sleep is important to your body recharging. It's important to your brain cells recharging. That's
Mm-hmm.
what sleep does. It resets your body. You
Mm-hmm.
need to fast. That ain't being
Mm-hmm.
spiritual. You need to put your body through a detox. Because if you're
Yes.
always on the go, you're not eating properly. So you
Mm-hmm.
need to take a day where you don't eat anything, drink some water as needed, and detox your body. So all
Mm-hmm.
that toxin can get out of your body. You can reset yourself. You need to take a
Mm-hmm.
multivitamin, especially if you don't eat right. Take some multivitamins
Yep.
for your age range, so your body can get what it needs to recharge itself, because you're sluggish, because your body doesn't have anything to draw strength from. Food is energy, the right food.
Mm-hmm.
The right food brings energy. Take a bath. That's how
Mm-hmm.
you recharge. A
Yes.
shower is on the go. Run your tub with some water, put some
Yes.
bubble bath in it, and sit down and
Mm-hmm.
soak. Light a
Yes.
candle, play some
Mm-hmm.
music, take a
Mm-hmm.
mental break, take a bath. You'll be surprised what a bath will do for you. You
Oh
understand what
yeah.
I'm saying? So change how you eat. That's how you recharge. Sometimes eating the wrong things will bring stress to you. And stress makes
Mm-hmm.
women swell. That's why women got these big bellies and stuff, because your body is called cortisol. So stress
Mm-hmm.
will make you swell. So stress will make you blow
Mm-hmm.
up. And so then you
Mm.
got to make sure you're not a stress eater. Some people,
Yeah.
when you're a stress eater, you're stressed out. Your mind is thinking, but you put something in your mouth the whole time you're thinking. You don't even really you ate 2 bags of chips because you're a
Right.
stress eater. So these are
Mm-hmm.
things that you have to do to recharge yourself, rest, unwind, take a break, steal away, turn your plate down, fast, detox your body, take a bath, get to
Mm-hmm.
find what gives you peace, and don't let anything interrupt it. If it ain't for 2 hours, it's still 2 hours of peace that you can
Mm-hmm.
have in your body that will help you reset and recharge.
Right. I hope you guys heard that. If not, you need to, when we post the replay, you need to go look at that, because what she said is just right. Everything. The problem is a lot of people will hear what you say and they're like, "Well, it's not that easy." It's like, because my best friend needs me, and like my husband's going to ask me to do this, and I can't say no. No, 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 no. You have to put your foot down. You're going to have to learn to tell your kids, honey, unless you absolutely need me for something. Not that you want to come tell me something about your friends or a TV show or anything like that. Unless it's not necessary, give mommy an hour for her to relax. Babe, I'm going to relax. I need to take me time, because, like you said, the problem is you have so many titles and you're hiding behind so many different hats that you don't know
Mm-hmm.
who you are anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You
Exactly.
don't know who you are without Miss Boss Chick CEO. You don't know who you are without mom. You don't know who you are without being the part-time manager at your job or whatever have you. And so when you're burnt out, you don't know what to do. Well, you don't know what you like to do to calm yourself down, to really get back to yourself, because you don't even know who yourself is anymore. And that's not right. Every single hat you wear is so important. It's so very important. But
Mm-hmm.
you just being you, even
Mm-hmm.
outside of Miss Boss Chick, is important, because as I said earlier, you can pour from an empty cup. If you're too overwhelmed and if you're focused on everybody else, even your clients, a lot of people, they're constantly thinking about their clients, thinking about, especially if you're somebody who's a mentor or a life coach or something like that, you always have your clients and what's going on with them in your mind. Learn when you are trying to recharge. This is going to be hard for a lot of people. Learn to
Mm-hmm.
stop taking your business home with you, even if you have an at home business. When it is time for business to shut down, business needs to shut down and you go back to being who you are. You need to shut down all of the chaos and all of the everything else that's been going
Mm-hmm.
throughout your day, so you can
Mm-hmm.
find out who you are again, because that's partly why you're burnt out. You forgot who you were.
And you know what is so amazing, Chante, is we have a problem saying no to the people that don't have a problem saying no to us.
Woo! Yes.
These
Yes.
people have no problem telling you no. I can't. Well, I don't know about all of that. We hear it all the time, but it never
Mm-hmm.
clicks. You need to say, you need to get, if give they sold a no, then they need to reap a no from you.
Mm-hmm.
We won't do it. No, I'm supposed to be this. Now I'm supposed to still all that, but just say no.
Mm-hmm.
Because Jesus says no. He
Yep.
tell me no all the
Yep.
time. He don't have
Yep.
no problem. But we have a problem saying no because we don't want to disappoint anybody, yet we're always disappointed. And so this is when you and these things happen so you will know who's around you. These people
Mm-hmm.
will take, but never give anything. That's a
Yeah.
leech. Let it be cut off. God will send con, confuse not well, he will allow a disagreement to happen just so you can see what's really in that person's heart.
Ooh, yes.
It's something so simple as you didn't respond to my text and they done cussed you clean out because you didn't
Mm-hmm.
respond to a text right away. They couldn't factor you might have
Wow.
been in the emergency room, you might have had a family emergency, you might have been in the bathroom. Everybody don't take their phone to the bathroom with them. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It could have been anything. But because you didn't respond when they felt like you should, they done cussed you
Mm-hmm.
out. And you was like, I was just in the bathroom. But you're
Mm-hmm.
but you're trying to be shown where their mind, they're selfish. They don't care nothing about what you got going on. They don't know if you've been in an accident or whatever. They just want what they want. And so we need to pay attention to the people who tell us no all the time,
Mm-hmm.
but yet expect a yes from us all the time.
Yep. Y'all, one of the last things I want to say here is, before we let Apostle Alicia tell y'all how you can connect with her, is you need a tribe of people, and you need a tribe of people that have people like Miss Apostle Alicia in your tribe. Okay, you need people who can be real with you, people who can be honest with you, but they're also, there's a difference between somebody being real and just being real negative. You need people who are real and uplifting. You don't
Yes.
want negative people inside of your circle. But
No.
it's hard. Again, everybody took me a couple of good years to find a tribe of people, and I'm still building my tribe right now. Trust me. So it's easier said than done. But start now. It's no better time to start now. But find your tribe of people who can really give you what you need, because You need to have conversations like this. You need to be friends with people who can
Mhm.
talk like this to you, because I bet most of you on here right now, you don't have people that can talk to you like this. You probably don't have many friends that can give you this type of advice. You're probably always the friend giving the business advice. You're
Mhm.
probably always the friend, the family member that's helping everybody else out, but you're not getting that back. Again, that's how you're getting burnt out. You're constantly giving to people and you're not receiving. Find a tribe of people who can give to you the way that you give to other people. Like one of my friends, Miracle, I'm not sure if she's watching right now. I love her to life. I was so happy when I started finding entrepreneurial friends, because it was hard explaining, okay, why I can't just give you a free t-shirt because you want a free t-shirt, why I just can't give you a free life coaching session because you want it. And she's an entrepreneur too, so we're able to bounce back off of each other. She doesn't
Mhm.
ask
That's good.
anything free of me. As soon as I when I go over her house and I need something, I buy her lip glosses, I buy her body scrubs and everything else she sells. She doesn't ask nothing free from me. She buys it back for me, and I don't feel like I'm being pressured. And I try to make sure I feel like I'm not pressuring her. I make sure I show her that I respect her as a businesswoman. She respects me as a businesswoman, and we're able to be there for each other. Make sure that you get people like that in your life, because if you don't, it's going to be kind of hard for you, because you're always going to have negative people in your ear, and you're going to have that positive offset, so that way you can remember who you are and what you're called to do. Before here we're going to end here, Apostle Alicia, anything besides telling people how they can contact you, how they can connect with your ministry and your business, how they can purchase things from you, and just overall be connected with you, is there any last words you want to say to anybody?
Sure. I just want to give you a quick reminder. If you really sit back and think about the dream you had, about your business, about your vision, about your book, your school, whatever it was, whatever your it is, I want to ask you a hard question. Who else did you recognize in the dream besides yourself?
Hmm.
And I guarantee you, you'll say nobody. Why is that important? Because what you obtained in the dream was not predicated on anybody that you know. So
Mm.
allow God to lead and direct you to those strange faces in that dream to help you get this thing accomplished. Don't put yourself in a box of familiarity when God has given you like I said, the circle that matters, the earth, the
Mm-hmm.
entire world. That's the circle that matters. You have access to all those people. There is no reason why you can't get on a plane and go to the West Coast and meet somebody. Go to the
Mm-hmm.
Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the central part of the United States. There's no reason. There's no reason at all. We plan trips to go to Jamaica. We plan trips to go on cruise and stuff like that. Why not plan a trip to go network in another city for a weekend?
Right.
Make the investment in yourself. If you invest in yourself, then you people will invest in you. Nobody wants to invest in anything that's not valuable. And
Mm-hmm.
you are valuable. You are worth the investment. And there are people out there that will invest in you, but you have to make the initial deposit. Yeah, I'm worth this. I'm going to invest this into myself and I'm going to get this done. How dare we spend $1,000 on a cell phone and not buy $1,000 for inventory for our business?
Oof.
How dare we spend $1,000 on a cell phone, a $2,000 on television, things of that nature, Apple TV, all this type of stuff, and we're not willing to go buy a plane ticket, get a rental car, and a hotel room to go to another region to expand our horizons. You
Mm-hmm.
can do this. And
Mm-hmm.
so I want you to remember you didn't recognize anybody in that dream but yourself. So as long as you are alive and you are breathing and you are willing, it'll come to pass. The other people that you saw, you'll meet them along the way. So, Chante, I want to say thank you for allowing me to be on your show. I'm so honored to be here with you. I'm so proud of you. You have come such a long way since I first met you. Because you would just kind of wave at me, or you'll say hey in the background, but now you have just launched out and you're doing your thing and you're empowering other young women. And I'm so proud of you. Keep going. Don't stop. Anything that I can do to help you, all you gotta do is ask, and it's there. So thank you again for this opportunity. Thank you, ladies, for watching. Young men, old seasoned men. Thank y'all for watching, tuning in with us on tonight. She has tagged me in this video, so I'm on social media. I have 2 social media pages. And uh, the name of my church is Ignited Blue Apostolic Church International. We have a church page on social media. I have my business page on there. It's called Gracefully Broached. I'm also on Instagram at she can underscore nation on Instagram, and I'm also on Instagram as brooches beauty for brooches on as gracefully brooches concerned. So I'm very accessible. My website is www.ignitedblue.com. You can reach us there. She can man cave, all this stuff is there. So thank you so much for your time. I hope you have an amazing rest of your weekend, and understand you're a boss chick for a reason. So don't dummy yourself down. Don't dilute yourself. Be 100% authentically you, and it will work.
Amen. Thank you so much for being on the show. I truly enjoyed this episode. I'm definitely going to have to bring you back on here.
I'll be honored to.
Thank you so much. And to the people who are watching, the people who watch the replay, who are going to be watching the replay, you came at the end. Make sure that you rewatch this and get you a notepad and write down the little nuggets that this woman gave you, because you're going to need it. God bless everybody. I love you so much. Remember how much you are worth. Remember there is so much inside of you that has yet been locked into, yet to been tapped into, and the world is just waiting for you to finally start
Absolutely.
believing in yourself. Okay. Remember, it's CEO boss chick mentality time, baby. Let's go.